So the weekend before last weekend was Nationals. We drove up Thursday morning. We left probably just before 8. I went up with my teammate Vince. If you guys have seen the videos with Team Brunel, then you know who he is. I think it was early afternoon when we got there, I'm pretty sure. I think we got there actually around like 4 o'clock, so it really wasn't bad at all, and we had a lot of time. But I actually, for some reason, before leaving for Ottawa, I thought that on Friday, which is the first day of competition, I thought that I started at like 2 p.m. and then on Saturday, if I made it to round 2, I thought that I would start at 12 o'clock for some reason. Now, it actually wasn't until literally we were driving up to Ottawa that I actually looked up what times I'd be competing, and it was good because I was completely off, and I don't even know where I got those numbers from. But I was actually going to be competing Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. And then if I made it to round 2, I would be competing Saturday at 12:30. So again, I have no idea where I got the numbers 2 and 12 from. I might have just been guessing about like the average time, but it was good that I actually figured out what time I'd be competing at. Like I said, we got there Thursday at around, I think like 4 o'clock, and literally the first thing I did after checking in was I brought my PlayStation. So right once I rolled my suitcase into the room, I set it down, opened it up, and started trying to get the PlayStation to work on the hotel TV. But you know, basically just kind of like hung out the entire night. Didn't really have anything else to do. So Friday I actually didn't get up until I think 1 o'clock, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty late, but it was okay because the competition on Friday doesn't start until later in the day. So I slept until like 1, and then basically got up. I was able to go check out some of the competition, you know, support some teammates who were competing and stuff, which I always enjoy doing. Now, I actually didn't start competing Friday until about 7 o'clock p.m. And that was because I was a little bit later in the division list. So basically, the age groups have a division list, if you guys don't know how this works, and it has a set time to start at, and then it starts at the top division and goes all the way to the bottom, and mine were like closer to the bottom. So like I said, didn't start competing until like 7 o'clock p.m. So Creative Weapons was first, started right at like 7 o'clock, I think, and ended up being first seed for Creative Weapons. And then it went to Musical Weapons. I ended up being first seed. If you guys don't know how the rules work in terms of scoring for katas, basically you get a score out of 9.99, which is the highest score you can get. And then it keeps going down lower, 1 point for each placing. So if a judge thinks that somebody got first place, then they give them a 9.99, second 9.98, etc. So like I said, Musical Weapons on the first day, round 1, I got 9.99, 9.99, and 9.98, so I didn't really think anything of it at first, but that gave me first seed. Now, if you guys don't know how like the qualifying process works for WKC, of course, provincials, you need to place top 8, and then you get to go to Ottawa for nationals if you made that top 8 at provincials. And then round 1, which is on the Friday, if you qualify in the top 6 in the first round, then you get to move on to the second round. Then in the second round, you need to place top 4 in order to be a part of Team Canada. And then the last 2, so the 5th and 6th place, will be alternates for Team Canada. So like I said, I ended up finishing in first seed for both the divisions on the first day or the first round. And I think I was done competing around 7:30, so it went pretty quick. And then we ended up going out downtown to get some food. And not gonna lie, even though I've talked about it in past videos, you know, having a better diet around tournaments, I may or may not have had a milkshake the night before round 2. So I got up, I think around 10 o'clock or so, you know, got ready, went down to the competition room to go, you know, support people, watch katas and stuff like that. Now, Creative Weapons, I ended up placing first. But then when it came to Musical Weapons, I was starting to do my kata and everything was fine at the very beginning, but after the first sequence of moves, I accidentally like repeated something that was in the first sequence again, and then while I was doing it, I was doing like a trick, and it was the same trick that I had just done. I was thinking in my head, I was like, something doesn't feel right because I was facing the wrong way, because I had done it, like I said, the exact same part of the sequence, but facing the wrong direction. So I didn't really understand what was going on, so that kind of messed with me. When you do that, it's not really hard to like play it off. You just like act as if that's what you're supposed to be doing. But when this happens, for me personally, it either goes, I finish my kata and everything's fine, or 50% of the time I'll kind of like mess up. You know, there's like some fumble sometimes because it really messes with your head if you think, oh, I've done like something wrong, you know, and that can kind of like continue happening throughout the rest of your performance if you did that originally. Unfortunately, this wasn't one of the good times that this has happened, so I wasn't really able to recover from it. So after I accidentally started doing the same sequence again and did that wrong, I ended up getting back to where I was supposed to be, and then I got to this one move in my kata where I do what I like to call a 540. Some people have different names for it, but basically what the move is I throw the bow in the air, spin 1.5 times, and catch it behind my back. So everything was going fine. Like I said, up to that point, I spun 1.5 times, reached out behind my back, and basically what happened was the bow landed like in my hand, but I don't know if it just landed in the wrong spot or if it was like spinning extra than regular. I don't think it was. I think it just landed in like the worst possible spot. And basically it landed like on my wrist. It rolled around my wrist and then flew off of my wrist and it hit the ground. Now, for those of you that don't compete in sport martial arts, if you drop your weapon, it's really not good. You get points deducted and there's really no way to get first if you've dropped your bow. Now, basically, the way the scores work at nationals is they're combined over 2 days. So your round 1 scores get added to round 2 scores, and whoever's combined scores is higher gets the highest placing at the end of the tournament. So like I said, on the first day, I got the 9.99, 9.99, and 9.98. Now, if I were to have gotten 3 9.99s on the first day, I would have gone to a tie for first and then rerun the katas again, and then whoever wins that wins. But unfortunately, since I dropped my weapon on the second day, didn't get the high scores, and ended up taking silver in that division. Now, it's of course obviously my fault for dropping the bow. It was really fluky. Like, the amount of times that I do this move, it just really sucks that like the time that I drop it is at a tournament. And that happens sometimes, so I'm just like, not okay with it, but it's just like, you know what happens. But all you can really do in that situation is, continue to practice the move over and over and over and over again, just so that you continue to decrease the chances of dropping it or messing up on the move. So like I said, I ended up getting silver in that division, so I qualified to compete for Team Canada at the 2018 WKC World Championships in Dublin, Ireland. So I'm really happy and honored to be able to represent Team Canada this year, especially moving up into the 18 plus division. This is basically, like my main goal for this year, moving up into that adult men's division and, just seeing what I'll be able to do. But overall, the trip was really great. I had an awesome time. I really enjoyed going to nationals. So basically now all there is to do is take what went wrong in round 2 or the second day of competition, fix everything up from there, and just continue working and getting ready for the next tournament.